Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2350 Effect. I am your co-host, Damian Kinsey, and I'm always joined by my other co-host, Dr. Tania Farran. I am the co-creator of the 2350 Network and the 2350 Effect. Dr. Farran, you want to introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about yourself, and welcome
Absolutely.
to the show.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Tania Farran. I am also the co-host of the 2350 Effect with Mr. Damian Kinsey and the co-creator of the 2350 Network, as well as the owner of Creative Living Ideas. And I'm an educator also. Lots of different hats that I get to wear every single day. So thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening, the 2350 Effect. Happy to be here with you all.
Yes, I'm happy to be here as well, and we are definitely having a great conversation tonight. We're talking about year in review, and as always, we always love to kind of start the 2350 Effect the same way we started all the time. We always started with a All right, so we always start with a laugh, call, or text. That is that thing in the last 7 days that makes you have a laugh out loud, get on the phone and call somebody, or decide to text them. Dr. Farron, what is your laugh, call, text? Because I already
He's
know what it is.
He's smirking because he already knows what my laugh caller text is. Oh my gosh, you guys, today, I don't know, the last 2 weeks have had the craziest technology things happening in my house and all of that. And Damian and I were having a meeting this morning. We haven't been able to have our normal meetings. We had a meeting this morning. My husband is working on the outside of our house, and all of a sudden, all of the power goes out on our house. And it was like, shoom, everything went down. And I was like, oh no, which I knew he had been working on the electricity at one point. And I texted Damian. I'm like, hold on. I'll be right back. It was hilarious. It was funny. And then he came back. We came back within a few seconds. I told my husband, I said, I was on a call. He forgot. He was like, oh, sorry about that. So it was kind of funny. And Damian was like, you just froze. He said, I thought you got tired of listening to me. Never, 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 never.
Yes, that is definitely my laugh call text as well. This is the first time we had the same laugh call text because I was talking and it just seemed like you either tuning me out or you were frozen. You were just, and I was like, hey, it must be frozen. So that was definitely a funny moment. We had to reset. But, technology happens, the show goes on, and you pivot when things happen. So,
Yes.
yeah. Hi, Jackie again. Hi, Christy. Hi, Leslie. Nick. Thank you for joining us. And anybody else who's out there, please put in the chat, the comments, where you're from, who's joining us, so we can acknowledge you and thank you for joining us on the 2350 Effect. This is definitely our last show of 2024, which has been a great year of so many things. Dr. Farron, it's been a pleasure this year.
It has. It really has been fun. And I love year in reviews. I don't know about you all when you go and you sit down and you watch TV and the news does a year in review or things like that. And whether it's like music within review or movies that were out or things like that, I absolutely love that. And so when Damian and I were planning this show, our last one of 2024, which is hard to believe. I said, let's do a year in review so that we can kind of reflect back and contemplate and see what's been going on this year and look at it all. So thanks everybody for being here. And yes, Leslie, I agree. It is that crazy Mercury retrograde. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Lisa, for being here, and Nick and Christy and Jackie. Appreciate your support so much. And Jay, thanks for being here tonight. We're happy to have you with us. So Damian, this was when the power went out today. Damian was on a roll about setting goals. He was just on a roll and I loved it. And I was typing feverishly all of the things that he was saying. And I really want Damian to kind of get back into that headspace and thinking about those goals that we have had or that people have at the beginning of the year. And now here we are at the end of the year. So what are some of those things, Damian, that you really want people here to think about with goal setting and their goals for the year?
Yeah, I want them to think about absolutely nothing. I want them to think about nothing, something, and everything. Because when we talk about goals, we think about them in the perspective of, okay, we have them, we set them, and sometimes we set goals that are not realistic. And this whole year in review conversation is all about, are you setting goals that are actually realistic? Are you setting goals that you actually pivot and change? And are you chasing things that are not your own goals and your own achievements? And when we were having that conversation earlier and we were talking about what we want to talk about in conversation, we brought up goals. We wanted to talk about and get in us to reflect and think about how our goals, when we created the network and we wanted to create the 2350 network, we kind of really started talking about gearing up for it last year this time. But the goal for the 2350 network, actually, it wasn't supposed to be started until another week from now. So when we launched it, it was kind of like, a pre-launch test, or, we did it ahead of time, which was kind of cool. But as we went on and we were going through the kinks and changing a few things and making adjustments, we learned, and we always reminded ourselves that we are ahead of schedule with the 2350 network. So I want people to think in that realm of, what are some of the goals that you set? Are you setting realistic goals, and are the goals you're creating for yourself, or are you chasing something else? And the same thing, the example we brought up was the network and being able to plan it, do it early, but we actually are ahead of schedule.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And, I think the thought of realistic goals for people are sometimes hard to plan or to prepare, because, we want to set goals that we're growing and that we're achieving, and, and I don't mean achieving like we met the goal. I mean, like, we're achieving in life. Like, we continue to progress forward. We continue to develop our systems. Maybe we continue to develop what we're working on, and sort of create that vision that goes along with it. And so really you have to identify what is like a realistic goal for you. You may have this giant lofty goal, but you might want to be able to pare it down and set up some steps in order for you to get to that goal. And that's kind of what Damian was talking about. We created the 2350 network with a vision and a dream that started in probably November of last year. So it's a little over a year. And, we started talking about it and really developing what was it going to look like. And so we had a goal. The goal was the 2350 network. We didn't even have a name for it. We had a name, but it's not to be said because we didn't end up naming that. But we had this goal of a network, but we didn't even really know what it was going to be, and so we had to have a lot of conversations and developing of what would that goal even look like. And we gave ourselves a year because we felt like we needed a year to really get it grounded. And, and so I think it's important to look at your goals. Are you setting realistic ones? We felt like 1 year was realistic for that. And we ended up shortening it. And I think that's okay. We were talking and some other groups about making some adjustments. So Damian, when do you take time to do some adjustments with your goals? Like, when do you look at things and make changes or adjustments to them?
Well, I like strat plans, like strategic plans, like
Yes,
having
you
them
do.
mapped out for the year, having them done 6 months ahead of time. And those kind of keep me on task with figuring out where the goals are and where I need to pivot. I love the pivot. Like, you can always change and adapt goals and shift a little bit. And a lot of times it'll lead you back to where you need to be on track. But I always love to evaluate, does this even make sense? Is it making sense to the people around me? Is it effective to where I'm trying to target myself at? Like, if my goal is to actually get out the house on time and I keep being late, I have to reevaluate the goal all the time. Like, hey, do I leave it a little bit earlier? The math on the GPS says this time, but real life says something else. And always try to plan for those variables. You can't plan for everything, but I try to leap ahead as much as possible. How about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, I try to go through and I like to look, and I think I'm going to this year do it every quarter more. So I usually do it half year. So about June, I'll go and take a look at my goals and I'll say, okay, am I meeting these goals? What do I need to do to adjust or to change these goals? Or what do I need to redirect, pivot? In education, we call that a mid-course correction, right? So you might be in mid-course and the way your students are performing, you may have to change things up and take a direction another way. And I have found a kind of comfort and I'm okay with making a mid-course correction. It used to make me feel more failure-ish, more like, gosh, I didn't succeed in that, or I'm not succeeding in that, and I let that part go because this is taking me down a different course. If we think about the goals that we make, and I remember starting very, very, very beginning of my career with creative living ideas, I had someone tell me, you need to do some videos. I was petrified. I was like, there is no way I am going to do a video of my face. And they were like, just do your hands. So my first goal was of me making something like cooking something or showing a book with my hands. That was a goal that I set to attain. And then it got easier and easier and easier. And so in the chat, those of you in the audience, what are some of the goals this year that you've reflected on, maybe that you made, and how are you doing with those? And I think it's also okay to continue your goals for the next year. Don't give up.
Yeah. When I've never asked you this. Has this happened to you? The network, the summit, the magazines. Has anybody ever come to you and say, "Hey, how's it going? Are you where you're supposed to be with that?" No?
I don't feel like I've had a lot of people that have come to me to say that. I have more people that say, wow, you're doing a lot. How do you do all of that? That's mostly what I get. How do you do all of that? And it's interesting because I really do have a really balanced life. I work very hard at making sure that's balanced, but I really haven't had somebody ask me that question about where I'm at. Mm-mm. How about you?
I've gotten that a lot, especially with the when we were doing the virtual wellness summit,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like we were doing it and we did a lot of different things,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot of people asking questions about that. And I always said to them that, you know what, it's way ahead of schedule. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And I remember having a conversation with somebody, and they kind of had this look on their face, like perplexed. And I was saying to them that, when you're trying to build something and you're putting it together, there needs to be a sense of normalcy. It needs to be familiar to people. It needs to be consistent. And when we were doing the virtual wellness experience, we already did the work-life balance summit. The experience was just the virtual wellness summit was just something different and
Yes.
unique about wellness on a virtual level. And while we already was emotion, and it's weird because when I tell people that we were ahead of schedule, was while we were doing work life balance, we were planning virtual wellness summit. While we were planning virtual wellness summit, we were planning work life balance 2350 in the experience at the same time.
Yes.
So when I say we were ahead of schedule, is because we were planning things ahead of schedule, and we have timelines for certain things where certain things should turn to a different level. So when having these conversations with people, I was like, we're ahead of schedule, and it's doing what it's supposed to. It's supposed to be out there for people who need these opportunities and services at a reasonable price, a reasonable environment, and give these opportunities for us as individuals, myself and you, to be able to talk about what we do and connect with people, and also give other people in our network opportunities to provide professional development, do these workshops, get familiar with it, get comfortable, and have these resources all in one space instead of having them everywhere else. It's supposed to be that way.
Absolutely.
So I think we're doing a good job, and I think you're doing a great job of doing that as well.
Thank you. You too. I think it's
You're
important.
welcome.
This was a good talking point that you had talked about earlier. Also, is, are you putting too much pressure on yourself? Like that's really a good thought to reflect upon. And that's a little something, I think that's what Nick is referring to. And that's what I was talking about too. Are you putting too much pressure on yourself? How do you interpret that? And Damian, how do you manage that for yourself?
Yeah, I've been in a situation where I've been putting too much pressure on myself. Putting these summits together, the max, everything, the timelines, but having the plan in place and having you as a partner, we always get back to we're ahead of our time.
Mm-hmm.
So our timeline isn't like we're on our own time and we already have our own timeline. So it isn't one of those things where okay, we did well. We always go back to what is going really well. How do we manage the kinks and how do we build upon it? And we look at it as a learning experience. So that has helped a lot.
I agree. And I think something that has really been helpful is having a partner. It has been really, really helpful. And I was out there by myself, like a lot of people that are on this platform, they're out there just paving their way, just working hard and building their community and building their, their client base and, just getting out there and getting after it. And, it's a tough job to do by yourself. And sometimes, you can sort of, feel overwhelmed. You can feel sad, depressed. You can feel defeated. You can feel elated, like all of those things. And then who do you have to tell, right? You're by yourself. So having a partner has been really, really fun for a couple of different things. You can celebrate your wins with each other. And again, like you said, balancing out and that responsibility has been really helpful, and really picking up for each other has been nice also. And so it's been really nice to do that. Like if I've needed something extra, you've been able to step in, vice versa, been able to step in. And so I encourage you, though, those of you that are out there that are working, find a partner that you're in line with to work on your projects with. And even if you're just having a moment to where you're just talking about it and you just have a partner or a coach or someone to be able to bounce ideas off of, that's important for you to be able to do. That was one of the reasons we started the network. And it's been amazing, but really having that person to help you and not put so much pressure on yourself, or just to say, what do you think about this? Now, there's still a lot of things that I do by myself and I enjoy that, like my parent to parent, my book study, that's something that I'm wanting to get back into. I've kind of put that book on the back shelf and now I'm ready to bring it out for 2025 and just really make it be what it was created to be, and not be so tied to that timeline. So my book, Raising the Well-Adjusted Child, A Parent's Manual, was the first book I created, but yet I'm just now being able to really work with it almost 4.5 years later. So.
Nice. And I think having a partner is great too, but we've had so much support from individuals from the network and people not a part of the network. Even when we're doing the summit, you have people checking in and saying, hey, this is going on, and we were able to fix things in real time and adjust. And having people who are supportive on your team, invested in you and willing to help you is so important and key. You can't do anything by yourself. So you need help, you need support, and you have to be willing to open the door and say, hey, I'm ready to receive help and support from people. And I think we do a good job of that. And I think individuals in our network and our community, meaning not just the 2350, are so supportive.
Yes. I agree. I agree. You do have to find who you align with, and have those similar goals and values, and be able to work with somebody like that. But I do agree. We have a huge support community, and that has been really, really nice to have. And I've just enjoyed just getting to know so many people, and I learned from them. I've learned a lot of things. I know, and I'm just going to go back to this year in review, and I appreciate everyone that I have had coffee talks with, that I have met with, that are in my little black book, of all of my coffee talk meetings. Enjoyed having everyone in here, because I do go back and I reflect on these, because this is important to me, and so when you make it into the little black book, it's nice. But no, every person that I've had a coffee talk with, I've put something in here, and I love going back and reflecting and looking at it. And one of the things I was going to say, the first time that I met TC, it was about this time last year. I think it was last year. And I went into her audio room, and she was talking about wrapping up this quarter. And that's where I really want to start focusing on the quarters. Did you meet your goals this quarter? Let's look at them. Let's break it down. What do you want next quarter to look like? And I was like, oh, I've never really thought of that. I've thought of these long range goals, but really breaking it down into quarters. And it was really just powerful thoughts. I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree, Kinga. It is the world changes fast, and having more people keep an eye out for each other is super, super helpful. It is. And we are social creatures, right? With innovation and inspiration, it comes from working with others. It really, really does. The old phrase, and I had a former superintendent that constantly said, 2 heads are better than 1, 4 heads are better than 2. And a lot of times that is true, to gain more ideas, but you also have to have some confidence to be able to go into that arena and say, here is my idea. What do you think?
Nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely wanted to second what you were saying about TC. I went to her room. It was like amazing on what she was talking about, creating systems, putting things in place, reflecting on it, or you following up. And it was so great to actually go into that space and see that. And it was a no-brainer when she was coming to the summit for the work-life balance summit, because she's really amazing. Yes, King, quarterly planning is so important.
Yes. I have definitely learned that. And so I kind of take my year in a chunk and really look at those chunks and what I want them to be. So thanks so much for everybody to be able to share that information, with us, and with everybody else. I'm just reviewing some things. I'm sorry. We did 60 shows.
No, we did over 60 shows.
Oh my gosh. We did over 60 shows this year. Holy.
This calendar year.
That is crazy.
Because we had the lead up, we had getting ready.
Yes.
We had the effect, and we did what we did last week. We did 2 weeks ago. We did gratitude.
Yes, we did, because we've had a couple audio rooms. We had some audio rooms. We were doing more kind of sprinkling some audio rooms. We've had a lot of events, and they have just been amazing. And the year has flown by. So today we were meeting. Damian's like, we've done over 60 events or live events. I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot. That's amazing to be able to do that and still enjoy doing it and having fun with it. That's the best.
Yeah, and definitely, and it was versatile. Like you said, we had the audio events in the morning. We had Meet the Presenter Week. We had the lives. We created the effect out of that. We had in the gratitude hour. It was such an amazing run. We had so many guests on,
Yeah.
guest speakers. We had Leslie Flowers come on, Kinga and Brenda Lees did entrepreneurship. Jackie talked about mediation. It was so many things on.
Oh my gosh, we have, and we've really, we had Mauricia. She came on when we had a lot of new books at one point in time, which was fun. We had Mauricia on and highlighted her book with her. We had Chiedza and Eni. They were on with their lessons they learned in COVID.
Dr. Mel.
Dr. Mel was on. I mean, that was just part of the show. And then we also had Brandy.
Yes.
Brandy was on. She was new. I hadn't met her before. And so that was really fun.
To talk about branding.
Yeah, she did. She talked about branding. Exactly. Yes. We've had a lot of people that have been able to support us and be on. Deanna Pelly, she came and helped us. Jackie came and helped us when we were discussing a topic not too long ago. And that was so fun to have her be a part of mediation. That. Pardon? Yes.
Mediation and conflict resolution. Yeah.
Yes. It was so important to have her be a part of that. So, oh my gosh, so many amazing people to
So that's over 60 LinkedIn /YouTube. That doesn't even account for all the events that we've done with the network specifically. So we're probably at like close to easy 80.
Yeah, probably. Absolutely. Yeah. So with that being said, I just want you guys to know, I'll drop it in this event also, but all of these are streamed on Creative Living Ideas YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel. And then if you're out and about, if you hit the little bell, it gives you a notification and it just pulls up. There's no cost to subscribe to the YouTube channel for CLI. That's what our nickname for Creative Living Ideas is, CLI. And so join that YouTube channel because everything gets streamed to that, except for last week, which was crazy, but everything gets streamed to that. And then you can just go back and rewatch it. We would love for you to give it a like or make a comment. That helps us reach a larger audience. And we appreciate that so, so much. And again, we want to highlight you all. And so when we have those Meet the Presenters, as we get a larger audience, you're going to get a larger audience as well with that. So that's really, really important for us to do for you all that are on there. Yeah, I'm looking at my lives. Now, I don't think I streamed them all right away because I didn't have StreamYard when we started, but I'm able to now stream them. And I have over 42 live streamed events on Creative Living Ideas. So, and that is this year. So yeah, you are definitely, I obviously was not questioning you, but my gosh, you are so right.
And it's good when you don't reflect on that and see like all the progress and being able to do that many events. It's remarkable. Speaking of remarkable, you want to talk about let's take a break and then go into the website, the 2350 website. So
sounds good.
All right. So the 2350 network is definitely what our networking group is. We do a lot of things. We do so many events on there. It's separate from there. We have a separate website. We have the app. It's so many other things and cool stuff. And like I said with Dr. Farran, we've probably done even 20 more different events on that particular website and with the network. And here's a little bit about the 2350 network.
We wanted to show you the 2350 network website. This is the homepage for the 2350 network. This is our mission. Our mission at the 2350 network is to empower professionals through a creative approach that brings together forward-thinking professionals and thought leaders. The 2350 network is dedicated to being the standard of innovation, excellence, and the networking hub for professionals. You can also read about the vision and our brand values. You can join the 2350 network by clicking this link and filling out a form. And then we will get back to you about that. You can see below the services that we provide for our network members. You can go through and read those. And at the bottom here, you'll see images of Damian and I, as well as our email addresses at the bottom if you'd like to reach out to either one of us. We also have a member feature, which is important for us to highlight our members. This is Jamie Rockymore Bess, her magazine called Helpful Living Magazine that she gives out or creates every quarter. This is one for the Work-Life Balance Summit, a special edition, as well as you can see Leslie Flowers as a member spotlight and her accomplishments and her latest book, where you can get that here by clicking the link at the bottom. We also have a calendar of upcoming events for our members each month that are listed here. So that is a quick tour of the 2350 Network website. We hope you join us.
In addition to so many other features, the 2350 Network features a virtual campus. So let's take a tour on our virtual campus. It kind of starts in our virtual lobby, the 2350 Network. That is actually me in there, and also is a picture of me, and it also can turn into a visualization of me just like I am here. We have the campus outdoor. We also have the auditorium, which seats 43 people, so it's a big space for people to have fun, connect. You can even probably have a concert there. In addition is our community room, which features our 2350 app, the pool table and recreation room. If you want to have fun and use your leisure time, we have an office space as well. Here's our virtual office. Here's Dr. Farran in our virtual office with Erica, who's a 2350 member. And there's so many other features. To become a member, go to the website, 2350network.com, and also follow us on LinkedIn on the 2350 Network website. Thank you. All right, and we're back. And definitely check out the 2350 website. It's on the bottom. And also follow us on the 2350 Network LinkedIn page by going to 2350 Network and going to our LinkedIn page and going to follow and get more information on the 2350 Network. And we have a new member as well. We're definitely accepting members for the 2350 Network. And thank you, Kinga, for jumping on to the YouTube page. I love that you switch and pivot.
I love it. She did it. She did it.
Wow.
I did go ahead and drop in the link to the YouTube channel into the comment section while we were doing that. So you can check that out. Just click that subscribe. You just have to have a Gmail account, and that's all that it is. It's just connected to that. Super easy. So thanks for doing that. That is amazing. So you can go in and you can see all of these. So you can go back and watch your own interviews, things like that, or just time on the 2350 effect with us. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. So what are some of your highlights from this year?
I was going to ask you that. You know, I'm going through here and I was like, oh, we started talking about other people, and I was like, oh, we had Leslie on for her book. We had Sandra Washington on. She was fun to talk to. She's done some amazing things in the community with the healthcare and with, really highlighting Black History Month, Women's History Month, just going through and doing all of that. She's done some really amazing things.
Annika and Lexi,
we had them on. I forgot about that. We did have them on.
Jamie.
We did. We had Jamie. I know there were so many. I do think, and if you want to use it too, I'm going to let you use it too.
Okay.
But I love the Meet the Presenters. I do love that because, we always find the most dynamic group of people to present, and they are such fun. And I always love watching how the combination of the presenters comes together for our events. And it always ends up being like this perfect little grouping that we don't even plan, How about you?
Dwight.
You liked having Dwight?
Yeah. For like 5 straight days, Dwight.
Oh my gosh, that's right. That was so funny. He was like just in it, wasn't he? He was so fun. Dwight was he was the man for the Virtual Wellness Summit. He was the man.
So the thing about Dwight that was amazing was, and I'm going to use the word amazing, because he did it for like 5 straight days. And Dwight, because he was so polished, would come on just before.
He didn't need anything. He didn't need any coaching.
He would come on just before, and he would be on, and he would be on. He brought so much humor, laughter in the conversation. So
Energy.
Dwight was one of my memorable moments. I love having everybody from the network on. Jackie, to have Jackie on there and have her with that particular group. The funny part about it was we had Meet the Presenters 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
And every time it meshed up to people who should be connected to each other.
Yes.
Were on those shows, and we didn't pick it. They picked the days, and it just so happened to always fall in line. So I love those times when you have Meet the Presenter Week. I love the takeover when Brenda Lees and Kinga took over the show and talked about entrepreneurship. I love how Leslie Flowers came on and guest host a few times and helped us to support it. And I love that Deanna couldn't even be here. She sent the video, and we were able to get that video on. Dr. Mel. It was just so many people. Dr. Schiller. I can go down the line with so many different people, individuals, that it was so great. Royce and Raheem talking about fatherhood.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
I know. You're making me think of some things we should probably, maybe we should do some purposeful little connections next
Yeah.
next
Maybe
season.
we do meet the 2350 members.
That would be super fun. That would
Yeah.
be super, super fun. Yes. Because they have a tremendous energy, like just great, great people, so much to offer the world, Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. Damian and I prefer the others talking. I know it's hard to believe, but we really do. We would prefer highlighting the people in the network and highlighting the people in the summits than us talking.
Like you, Deanna, and Dr. Q did a show last week.
That was so fun.
See?
It was so fun to be with Dr. Q and Deanna, and it was amazing. So if you didn't see that, it was the 4 C's of relationships, and it's on the YouTube channel for CLI. So go check it out. We're in black background with red lettering and stuff. It's really cute because I think we all had red shirts on or something. I don't know.
It was the last I Choose Me of the month.
Of the year.
Of the year, sorry.
Yeah.
And I kind of started with I Choose Me with her, and I'm so glad that you and Deanna picked it up and were able to do it with her because of the schedule, and I couldn't be able to do it. But I knew it was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
And me being a part of it, it was fun. It was even more fun me actually listening to it.
Yeah.
And seeing it, the conversation, pairing off each other, talking about the 4 C's, the audience getting involved. And I loved it. And that's what the whole connections is about. That's what the whole network's about. And you talk about year in review. I started the I Choose Me with Dr. Q as the host, and you ended it. And that's just, sometimes
that's true.
We can't always be present for everything, but we do have people who can pick up the baton and keep it moving. And I Choose Me is so fun and important. It's about trauma, relationship, choosing yourself. That is a conversation that needs to continue on. And what better way than have other people from the network who are invested? You bring a different perspective as a parent. Deanna brings a different perspective. You bring a different perspective as an educator. Dr. Hugh brings a different perspective, being a Pakistani woman from the Northeast. So it's just so much that goes on to it, these conversations. And that's what it's all about. And that's how I reflect on the year. Is it getting better, or are we getting better in different places, spaces, and things? And I think we are.
I think we are too. And I love that. I think, there are so many important little components that have fallen into a beautiful place this year. And I think that's important to acknowledge and recognize also. And so I think, I would encourage you, if you are wanting to try something new, to go out and get started on it and learn something new. Because, like Damian was saying at the very beginning, what we started doing, what I started doing a year ago in October was holding the first Work-Life Balance Summit. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just went out on a limb and I started doing it, and I was doing pretty well. And then Damian said, would you like some more help? And I said, I would love some help. And then we were able to partner up. We knew each other beforehand, but we're able to partner up and really collaborate and connect together. We both have a pretty strong work ethic, so that's really helpful too in our partnership. So there's a lot of qualities that we have together in our partnership that is very helpful. But trying it out, well, now really going through and doing it, we have so many pieces already put together. It makes it easier. Like the system has been put together. The plan has been put together for the next one. So what we have ready to go for the virtual wellness experience that's going to happen in March of 2025 is already lined out. Like we have all sorts of things already prepared, planned, organized, and ready to go. And so it has taken a year to get really to that point to where it starts functioning on its own. But I encourage you to try something new next year, to think about going out on a limb, whether it's asking for a partner, grabbing a coach, working on a new project, trying a new platform, doing a live event. I think some of my greatest memories so far, Damian, are helping the people that are either in our summits or in our shows present for the very first time. They're experts in their field. They've been in their field for a long time, but presenting has not been necessarily their niche. And so getting them to learn how to be a presenter is something that we have done, and I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed watching them grow and watching their excitement and their thrill and, really getting, just fired up about what they're doing. It's really amazing. That's been like some of my best reflection of the year. I would say if I'm looking at a big win, it's watching these people grow.
I like that. So the year always isn't great. Everything isn't 100% the way it needs to be. What are some of the things that you would do differently? Or what is the one thing you would do differently?
Yeah.
Or adjust a little?
Well, I had to adjust. So I had we called it the Virtual Wellness Summit at the time. And then I also hosted a couple with some other people, and you included some parenting journeys, which I loved doing and hosting, but I couldn't dedicate that amount of energy to it in the appropriate way. And I wasn't doing it very well. And so I aborted it by June. And I said, I think this needs to go on the back burner, needs to be relooked at until I'm able to really focus on that. And just moved it to the back burner. It's still there. It's still simmering in a pot. Doesn't mean that it's gone. And it doesn't mean that it's a failure. I made some great connections with some great people. I helped some people with a couple of ones that we had. But yeah, just didn't end up rolling the second half of the year the way I wanted it to. How about you, Damian?
Well, I believe it's your right shoulder, bottom of the screen, the mag. So those are the two magazines. So my thing would be the mag. The magazine, we thought about the magazine and we put it in place after the Virtual Wellness Summit. Well, the summit was already going on when we thought about. We were in motion of preparing for the summit before Meet the Presenters, and we thought about the magazine. Also getting the magazine is amazing. Both of them are. And even the second one, there's so many people in it. I just wish that we could have got everybody in it, because after the fact, we had so many people who weren't in it. It was like, wow, like, is it too late? Is it too late? And it was too late to actually get them in the magazine. So I will hope this time when we do the Virtual Wellness Experience mag, that everybody's able to get in. We get them in on time, and that we're able to actually get that magazine out there in a timely fashion when and time where people can actually digest, get the magazine, look at it, see all the presenters, and then get prepared for the summit.
Yes, absolutely. And, that is definitely something. So we bit off a lot during that part of the year. That was our first virtual wellness summit. So we had 2 big summits in 1 year. And by big, those of you that are listening, 26, 27 presenters, 2 full days virtually on a different platform that nobody had ever really been on. So there was a lot of educating of our presenters on the platform. We meet with our presenters. We spend a lot of time and energy with our presenters so that they put out a really, really great presentation for their audience, and build a really great connection with them and community and relationship, and just really enjoy them. And so we decided to do the magazine, and it was a lot of work. And, so then we're refining that, and we're working on making it even more incredible. The first one was incredible. The second one was just, wow, amazing. And now I just know the next one's going to be ready to roll and even better. But the magazine isn't just for if you go to the event. So, you can still grab a copy of the magazine. You can go on the 2350 Network website, and you can grab a copy of the magazine still. You can get the digital version. Comes right to you, but it's got helpful tips in there from our presenters. It's about what their journey is, maybe their story. It's a really great magazine with lots of really good information in it. You'll be able to take something away probably from everybody that you read about on that. So it's kind of like having your own little workbook of activities that you can do.
And it's definitely a cool magazine. You get a lot of insight on what the topics was during the summit. I know Tina did the Restful Reset, which is a really good topic. She did a post, I believe, yesterday with the jars with salad. So it's so many tips that you can get, and it's a great magazine just to pick up from. And go to the 2350 Network page to get that magazine as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what does 2025 look like for you?
Well, 2024 has extremely been busy, the end of it. So 2025 is extremely busy as well. I think the biggest thing is the virtual wellness experience. And we changed it from the summit to the experience because we want to create this virtual wellness experience that is full with so many components to it. The magazine, the 26, 27 presenters, different breakout rooms and sessions, networking, and a host of other things that is going along with that as well. And building upon the momentum of the 2350 effect in the network. So
absolutely,
those are mine, and then getting prepared for work-life balance and figuring out how do we incorporate the network part to it, because we were talking about so many other things behind the scenes, and especially with members to do more social activities.
Correct. So, when I think about 2025, I think about continuation of 2024 with more intensity and more specificity, with it being just a little bit more honed in. And I agree with that, and I think we're already started off to that. And I want the virtual wellness experience to be flawless and to just be really impactful and powerful for a lot of people. And I believe that it will be. And I want the magazine to be just as powerful for people so that they have great things to take away from it. I think that's in alignment of what the 23 2350 Effect is about also. We are here on Sunday evenings to bring you information, to give you thought-provoking ideas, to inspire you, to find new ways of doing things, and that is our goal with that, right? We do the work-life balance summits, and we do the virtual wellness experience, and all of them surround, your mind, body, and spirit. And so going into all of those pieces to help everyone in humanity, really grow and learn. And that's something that I want us to keep a focus on in our alignment of what we're doing. And I think that's important. I also really want to see the network grow, because I know there are so many amazing people that can benefit from the network. And I know that they will love it once they become a part of it. It's amazing once they get to know each other.
So let's just think about it, because I know we have 10 minutes. Let's think about it and reflect. And I know we do our quote. It's been a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been about 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
From the first, we've done 3 summits, 2 magazines, almost 100 live events. We built the network. We have a virtual campus. We have founding members,
Mm-hmm.
individuals who are invested into it, who believe in the network. We've done parent journeys, book club. We have and that's been done in 15 months, all off of, hey, do you need help? Yeah, sure.
Be careful what you wish for, Damian.
No, and you saying, I want to do this. Phone call saying, I want to do this. And me saying, I want to do this. And us both saying, we're both on board. And then we have so many people who want to support and being on board. And that is in a year. Imagine what another year looks like.
Right.
How people always ask what your 5-year plan looks like. I can imagine what this looks like in 5 years.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty incredible.
Yeah. Thank you for joining up, Susan.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Joel. Professor Roxana, thank you for being here. Sisam Abraham, thank you for being here as well. I appreciate it. It's been a great year. It has really been a great year. Like there's so many amazing things that have happened, and it's been a lot of fun.
And it wasn't easy, but we always took a breath whenever it became hard.
I think
that was okay.
I think that's really important, because, when I was on the show, Deanna had asked me, she said, I don't know how you do it all. And I said, I take a lot of breaks. And I really do. I feel like we take a dose of our own medicine all the time. We take time off. This is our last show for the year, and it is December 8th. And so we're taking the next few weeks off. We'll be back in January. That's our time. That's our reset. Of course, we're doing some things in the background, but we're not putting out this event. And we've got some things in the background. We'll text or email back and forth, different things, maybe have a meeting here or there, but that's about it. But we do take that time. And I feel like, if we're putting out events that are telling people to rest and recharge and, rejuvenate themselves, we have to do that as well. Otherwise, we're just being hypocrites, and we don't want to be that. We want to practice what we're preaching to people and telling them what to do in that area, so that it's helpful though. And we know the benefits of it. So I do love that I can always say, Damian, I can't do this time, or this time isn't working out for me, and you're always welcome and receiving that well. And I hope you feel the same way in return.
I do. I definitely do.
Good.
It's all about having each other's back, and you have mine and I have yours, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. It's important. Absolutely.
All right. So, biggest takeaway from the year for you before we get into...
Oh my gosh. I don't know that I'm ready. You tell me yours. I don't know that I'm ready for my biggest takeaway for the year. I'm going to think about that for a minute.
So, my biggest takeaway is that there are people around you who want to help and support you. Be open to letting them help and support you because we can't do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest takeaway.
I love that. Yeah. I love that, you know, we had a dream and we acted on it. And instead of just saying, I really would like to, one day I want to, I really want to do this sometime. And we did, and I encourage other people to try things, you know, you have to learn how you have to try things and ask for help, ask questions, and see who can help you out there. And that was it. I started talking to Damian about the event, the first event, and Damian introduced me to Andressa. And she was the one who showed me how to get on the Zoom event platform. And I met with her and we talked on the phone and I tried something new and it was scary. It was a little scary, And so biggest takeaway, try something new. We tried the network and we added another virtual wellness experience and we did a magazine. Like those were 3 huge things that we said, what the heck? We're going to try it. I think that's how it kind of went down. Why not? Let's see what happens. I love that, Susan. Living in the moment is living your life fully. I like that. Nice.
All right. So we have definitely had a quick, fun, and eventful show.
Yeah.
And as always, you know how we like to close it. All right. So we like to close it with a quote. So I have 2 quotes today. Partnerships are about trusting the other person and letting them do what they do best.
I like that.
For sure.
It's definitely true. You got to build off of your strengths of your partner, right? I
Yep.
love that. I always tell the world doesn't need 2 Tanyas. It doesn't need 2 Damians. Just one of us is enough. All right. So this is a quote that I wanted to do something with the end of the year. So year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us. So it's not the end. It's not the beginning, but it's all the wisdom and experience that's in us.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, the quote that we leave with is don't let 5 or 10 minutes of a bad moment disrupt the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day. Live your life to your best and your ability. And also, it's the year-end review. Take time to evaluate your year based on yourself, not other people's standards. Be kind to yourself. Take time for yourself. Enjoy the rest of your year. I'll be around. Dr. Farran will be around. But this is the 2350 effect. And how we like to say it is this: the network is the cause, and this is the effect. So thank you for joining us on the 2350 effect.
Yes. Thank you all. Happy New Year to everyone. See you next year.
Happy New Year as well. And take care, everyone. And thank you, Christy, as well, for chiming in as well. So long, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for attending the 2350 Effect. If you are interested in becoming a guest or a sponsor, please contact Damian or Dr. Tania. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 2350 Effect.